Welcome to Popcorn Planet Live. We are here. I'm here with my buds, Don, Steph. We've been hanging out, and if you want to join us live, catch us every Tuesday, Thursday, because if you're catching this on the replay, you missed the full live show. If you're watching us live, you rock, and you know what's up. Every Tuesday, Thursday, we're here 9 till about midnight hanging out, and if you become a member, you can always catch the full replay here as part of the memberships and the perks of being a Popcorn Planeteer. So I wanted to talk about our main story, because this whole stream will get limited down to this little section we talk about, because this was kind of big news that dropped kind of weirdly, guys. I don't know if anybody you saw this, but here it is. Joker 2 reportedly back, and Todd Phillips is already co-writing a script. So let's break this down. So he'll be writing a script for Joker 2. This came in from where was it? Sorry, hold on. It's they bury the lead. Phillips has kept fans' hopes alive by teasing that he had ideas for a Joker sequel. Gone so far to say he had discussed them with Joaquin Phoenix. Here's the real truth about a sequel. When Joaquin and I have talked about it while touring the world with Warner Brothers, going to Toronto, Venice, and other places, of course, we're sitting at dinner and saying, so have you thought about it? But talking about contracts, there's not a contract for us to even write a sequel, so we've never been approached. We've never even approached Joaquin for a sequel. Early in 2020, Joker was getting big award nominations, and Phillips told Deadline then, when a movie does $1 billion and costs $60 million to make, of course it comes up, but Joaquin and I haven't really decided on it. We're open. I mean, I'd love to work with him on anything, quite frankly, so who knows, but it would have to be a real thematic resonance the way this one did. Ultimately, being a child of trauma and the lack of love and the loss of empathy, all those things are really what made this movie work for us, so we'd have to have something that with that equal resonance. Well, hold on, where was this? This link sucks. Oh, here it was. Sorry, I was making sure. They put it in the beginning. I thought it was later in the article. But this actually came from now a new feature, Hollywood's Top 100 Attorneys of 2021. And one of the power player lawyers, Warren Dern, is reps Zack Snyder, Amy Poehler, and Todd Phillips. And while touting the kind of deals that Dern has recently done, a Hollywood Reporter noted that Todd Phillips struck a deal to co-write the next Joker installment. It's a small mention that's going to ring a lot of bells in DC fandom. Take it with a grain of salt, though. The trade has already been called out once for jumping the gun on announcing Joker 2. But that said, look, this stuff does happen. I remember I forget who it was, it sort of broke the news of Lethal Weapon 4 that he was making that happen, and this is sort of where they sort of drop things out. But the fact that he's putting it out there saying, yeah, we already made a deal for Todd Phillips to co-write the next installment. Now, what does that mean? It could mean a bunch of things. One, they're doing it. Two, it just means, look, first step at getting a Joker 2 made is figuring out the idea. And so now Warner Brothers is like, all right, we're going to pay you, figure out the idea. Here's a truckload of money, figure out the idea, Todd Phillips. He'll figure out the idea, but that does not guarantee they make the movie. It also doesn't guarantee that Joaquin Phoenix is on board for the movie. It just guarantees that Todd Phillips gets paid to attempt to figure it out. You know what I mean? Which now comes to the question of, it's obviously, I think we knew this would eventually happen. Warner Brothers, when you make $1 billion, like you said, and only on 60 million, of course, Warner Brothers is like, can you make 10 of these? But should they, is the question. Is there a version of this that could work? Now that Todd Phillips is officially getting paid to write a sequel, no contracts yet, no talent, etc. Do you think there's a version of this that can work? I want to go to your thoughts. Let's start with you, Adon.
I feel like there's 3 different approaches to this. One, obviously, go straight for the sequel. Go more, since the first Joker is more the introduction of the character as he's becoming the Joker, and let's delve darker into that. Let's build his character. Let's get the more chaotic Joker that we all know and love, and that could be where they could go. Alternatively, and I think this will be a fascinating pull if they did it, is if they don't get Joaquin, then do it as an introduction of one of the other Jokers, because there's technically 3 Jokers in the timeline, so that were existing at the same time and alternating. So like you could, there is like an
inspire somebody else.
Exactly, and there was ones that were inspired. There was ones that like existed on their own, and there was like a concept, but people would think that there's the same guy because they look the same, but like they're different, and so they could go with that approach. And then or you can go with the approach that like is now skip time forward, we already got our crazy Joker with Joaquin and whatnot, but now it's like how he influences in the Batman universe. Maybe not directly with Batman, because Joker does do other stuff without Batman. You know, it's just that Batman's his favorite toy in that sense. So you could expand it out in that way. But I actually am intrigued if they would do like the 3 Jokers. So you get a separate Joker and they focus on that Joker, and we get a different alternate reality because of that. Because you could also think of it like this, like he always said, like, I prefer to choose my past. You know, like I like multiple options, multiple choice. But in the comics, there was multiple ones, and they have different pasts, and even at that, some of them were ambiguous. So it was really, really twisted when all 3 of them got together finally.
What do you think, Steph? And Steph is whispering because she's in the UK and it's late, and she's trying not to wake everybody else in her house. So I'm preempting everybody. Go ahead, Steph.
Yes, you have my sexy ASMR voice, British voice tonight. I would love it if they did a very, very gritty kind of real world version of Arkham Asylum. With the Joker in there, and when he's like at his therapy sessions, that it then harkens back to all the madness and the craziness that he did before he went into Arkham Asylum. Something along those lines. Short, sweet, but that's my answer.
Yeah, no, but that's something we haven't seen a lot of, which is, I agree. We were supposed to see that with the Batman that Ben Affleck was doing, the rumors were, and that would be interesting. But so I'm with you. I just don't know if I want that with this Joker. But Don puts together an interesting idea of like the 3 Jokers is one way you could go. It does feel a little forced, but then, you know, almost you could make the 3 Jokers have another one, and then whatever the Joker, whether you use it as one of the Jokers that existed already that we've seen, could be sort of the twist at the end of it all, or, you know, the next one that they're going to commit to. But allowing them to sort of have someone inspired by that Joker is not I mean, I don't know if I want it, but from a creative standpoint, that is a fix where you could still put something out there, make money, and see where it goes. Although they did have that moment where Joaquin, right, like connects to the young Bruce Wayne, which does sort of allude to the fact that there's more to them in the future, although I thought he was too young, but who knows. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, though, I got to say, I think Joker worked so well as a standalone story. I don't know why we need it. I mean, I know why Warner Brothers wants it, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
I'd buy that for
$1 billion.
I'm definitely going to go pay. I'm going to pay my ticket and go watch that movie 100%.
Yeah, I mean, they know there's money. They want to make money, and that I understand why they want to do it. But should they do it? I don't think they should. And I don't see Joaquin Phoenix doing it. Like, I just don't. He seems like the type of guy that doesn't care about the money. Now, and I remember I was on Midnight's Edge or somewhere, and we were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I guess you could donate, you know, $1 billion to his vegan charity, and then maybe he feels like he has to. I mean, you know, everybody has a price for the right cause, right? But I don't know, of all the actors out there, he's one. It's like, I don't feel like you can buy him. And I feel like, you know, he would probably be more annoyed because he's like, dude, I won my Oscar. I made $1 billion. Like, this is a tour de force. Anything I do will pale in comparison. Why would I do it? The answer is, of course, money. There's no other answer aside from money, because there's no way you can make it as good as the original. It's just not. It's gonna be weird, and they've already said it. So, I think it's an uphill battle. I do think it'll be stuck in development hell. I think it's wise they're paying Todd Phillips. Pay him, keep him happy, see if you can crack an idea, because you never know. It can't happen unless you pay him to start writing the script. So that makes sense, and it's all going to be on Phillips to see if he can come to task and come up with the concept or idea that actually works, and then gets Joaquin on board to say, dude, come on, this isn't that bad. Plus, we're going to make a lot of money. You've got to remember, Todd Phillips, the same guys, who talked all 3 of the Hangover guys to come back 2 more times to cash those checks for those god-awful Hangover movies. But they all, you know, got tons of money that, of course, they did it. Why? I mean, it would have been idiotic for them to not do it, especially Part 3. Part 3, I think, was even worse than Part 2. Oh, my God, what a massive, frustrating movie that was. But yeah, I don't know. And someone's Will's asking, has Joaquin ever even done a sequel? I don't think so. He's not part of like any franchises. He's done some other commercial movies, you know, like Signs, Gladiator, you know. But yeah, no, there's not a lot of huge movies like that. He does them pretty sparingly. And the Joker was such a off choice for him. Remember, he was also wrestling with Doctor Strange Like there was a point there where he was going to be Doctor Strange, which I'm kind of glad he didn't do, because I don't see him showing up as often as Benedict Cumberbatch it does. Like, I could see Joaquin Phoenix just getting super annoyed and be like, "Oh, I'm not coming up for another movie. You crazy?" But the fact that he was even considering it, you know what? Maybe that is something where it's like, all right, maybe for the right price he would do another movie. He was preparing to do a multi-picture deal for Marvel, right? Which you would have never thought Joaquin Phoenix would do in a million years. But I see a lot of comments. I don't want a Joker sequel. Let's put a 0 in the chat if you do not want a Joker sequel. Let's put a 1 in the chat if you do. If you're like, you know what, I want to see it. I want to see your thoughts. And the question is next, as we talk about this, can you do it without Joaquin? What do you think, Steph? Could you figure out whether it's the 3 Jokers or something else? Can they do another Joker standalone if Joaquin passes?
Absolutely. We've had so many iterations of the Joker. Why not?
Should they?
Should they? Well, for me, I like continuity. So personally, I would prefer if Joaquin Phoenix was in for Joker 2, but if not, it's not a deal breaker for me.
You, Adon?
If they're not going to do the 3 Jokers and we're not getting Joaquin, I don't think that we should do it. If anything, they should focus on another Batman Rogues Gallery character. That would make the most absolute sense. If you can't get Joaquin and you're not going to go that route of like introducing 3 Jokers, because that's the only way I can fathom a possibility, go grab another villain, make a solo movie based on that villain, and then see if you can have the same stardom that Joker did.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's like, let's see Todd Phillips put together a Scarecrow movie, or whatever it is. Find another villain and like do a cool, gritty, sort of standalone story. It's the one place DC and Warner Brothers can do if Discovery lets them as they move forward. But money will let them, I think, in this case. And it's kind of crazy. Todd Phillips doesn't go, you know what? Yeah, let's do another one for this character. Let's go and find a different version of the story or a different even genre to borrow from and do it. And that way you don't have to and get another actor. Be like, hey, Joaquin did this with the Joker. Do you want to come do this with, whatever character, the Penguin? We do a really cool version of it with somebody, and get another big actor. I'm with.
There's so many great characters, and they're practically like horror films for a lot of their characters. Like, imagine Clayface. Like, you have an actor that's turned into a clay monster that, he's trying to get back in his career and he just gets deformed because of it. Then you have Bane, who was raised in like literally the worst prison imaginable, and from birth grew up there and fought his way out to become like a crime boss. There's so many good storylines that are pivotal characters. Ra's al Ghul, the guy who lived centuries, who wants to rebuild the world from the shadows. They can focus on those characters and, dare I say, make a villain universe.
A dark universe?
The proper one. They tried a dark universe before, but that was Universal.
Yeah, they could get Condiment King, right? He could squirt his mustard on everything.
Kite Man. Listen,
there you go.
Kite Man is a silly character, but when you get to the War of Jokes and Riddles and you find out the way he became Kite Man, all that silliness drops out the window. And you're like, I respect this character.
Yeah, I see the chat making a lot of suggestions too, and a lot of them like, no, overdone. And then even Bunda made a good idea of it. The Penguin mob movie, that's going to be the Batman. The Batman is going to take Riddler and Penguin off the table again because they're both, Colin Farrell and Paul Dano are going to do sort of a darker thing now that I think it's going to be hard to compete with that. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's got to be somebody in that archives of Batman villains you could go and do another thing. I mean, and you can take any. The Joker has proven, right, that you can clearly tell a story 100 times and still hit it out of the park. So looking at the numbers though of everybody who voted, it's pretty. Wait, hold on. Let me scroll up. It went up too fast. There was a lot. It was a very mixed bag. 0, well, all right, 0, 0, 0, 1, 100, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 38, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, half, 0, 1, 0. 1 if it's worth it. So 0, 0, 0. Yeah, it's more zeros. A lot more zeros. There were a handful of ones in there, but very interesting. And thank you, Ariel, for the super chat. Any sequel to any movie can work as long as the studio stays out of the way. Allow the creator to tell a story and it will be good. Think Godfather 2 or T2. It's true. You want to come back when you're passionate about the idea, you have a reason to be back. That's the best time to do it. So I agree. If they're paying him to do this and he can crack the idea, great. And then if he can sell it to Joaquin, even better. But I think it's gonna be an uphill battle. That was lightning in a bottle. And look at the other. Can I say something blasphemous? I guess I don't think Joker's that good. It's good. I liked it. But to me, it's like it's just a really good performance. But it's a really good performance in a movie where he just stole a bunch of Scorsese style movies. And I feel like it's not one I want to go watch a bunch of times. It's a character portrayal and a character study and a performance that I applaud and think, you know what, that was really great. But I don't know. I don't think Joker will be. I don't think Joker will be like treated like The Godfather, later in life. I just don't think it will. I think it'll be a movie that people are like, oh, that was okay. Do you guys think the Joker will become legendary status, a classic, if you will, in 30 years?
I think it'll be more of a cult classic. Yeah, in the sense that you're going to have like the film buffs that are going to like go back to that one and be like, yeah, this was the one that was standing far from left from what your standard comic book movies was. Because it made changes from comic book films that you don't usually get. And like you don't see that in Marvel, you don't see that in DC films. So it was a very unique film. But I agree in the sense that it's not the one that people are going to be like, that's their go-to. Let's go watch Joker again. Because it's a heavy film too.
Yeah. Steph, what do you think? Do you think it'll get legendary classic status? I mean, and I'm not even trying to knock the movie. It's good. I liked it. I really did enjoy it. But it's not like one I'm like any of the other Batman movies, I would go watch them again. Like the Joker's not one I'm like, I gotta go watch Joker again. Oh, I gotta look at it again. Like it's just I saw it twice. I've seen it twice, and I'm good for a while. What do you think, Steph? Do you think it's legendary status in 30 years?
Andy, get the heck out of my head. It's pretty much what I was thinking, to be fair. I've seen it the once. It's a great movie, don't get me wrong. Do I really want to see it again? No, I'm pretty much okay with it. So just on that basis, I don't think it's going to be like a legendary, epic sort of movie in the future. Is it going to be cult status? I don't entirely agree with Dan. I think it's going to be revered by like the posh movie buffs that are a little bit more up-and-nosed and all that lot. I don't think it's going to be that much of a cult classic, though, to be fair, other than just with the poshos.
Yeah, well, like the posh comic book crowd. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Exactly. It's just not. It's good. And someone just said, Sean, the movie man, just said most movies are so bad, Joker stands out. I think that's really what it was. But does it mean it's really that good, or was it just there's not a lot of good movies these days? But even that Joker, I just feel like, yeah, cool, a portrayal of a character we've seen done a ton of times, interesting. But I like prefer original stuff I haven't seen before. Or movies that are just more entertaining. Most like heavy movies, I guess, is what it is. Just don't stand the test of time. It doesn't mean they're not gonna be remembered, or it just classic status. I don't think it's gonna get Godfather status in the times to come. But Yash disagrees in the chat. Fair enough, Yash. But anyway, there you go, guys. Joker 2 is on deck. It seems like it's being written, at least, which is the first step to get this movie made, but there's still a lot of hoops to jump through. So be careful of the news you're hearing out there of people saying it's back, it's happening. It's not. But it is at least the first step. If it's gonna happen, this is the first way to do it, which is pay Todd Phillips to see, can he find an angle, and then will everyone want to do that angle. So we'll see. First step has begun. Joker 2 is now clearly a go in Warner Brothers' eyes. It's going to be an uphill battle, though, to get Todd and Joaquin an idea that they like. So we will see. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. We're not done. Don't go anywhere if you're watching live. Make sure to go subscribe to Steph, the Alter Nerd, on YouTube, as well as Don over on Nerd Tots. I'll put the links in the description. Go show them some love, as well as subscribe here if you haven't already. Guys, if you're watching right now live, can you go tell me if you're subscribed? Go check the bell, smash the thumbs up, leave a comment as we're watching because it helps. I think you can still leave comments down below. But YouTube is telling me your alerts are working fine. You need to show us some screenshots. So if anybody out there can tweet at me or leave a comment and screenshot it to me, if you're not getting notifications and you've hit the bell and you are subscribed, please send it over my way to Andy Signore, because YouTube doesn't believe me, but I've heard from many of you that you don't get the videos as often. So I'd love your insight and help there. Again, if you're watching live, don't go anywhere. We're not done. If you're watching on the replay, click on these. Thanks for watching, everybody. Ooh.